All right. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the pre-market show. Hope everyone's having an amazing morning, and hope you had a great 3-day weekend. Good morning, Norm. How you doing today?
Hey, good morning, Carlos. I'm doing great. Hope you had a good weekend too.
Yes, I sure did. It's funny. Everyone we talk to, the weekends now seem just like any other day. Especially if you just regularly work from home, you can't go anywhere. It just doesn't seem like anything special. So,
Yeah.
but either way, hope you had a good time. Most importantly, hope everyone is safe out there. Welcome back to the pre-market trading prep. So, if you're joining us for the first time, here's our rundown. We'll go over the market pulse, kind of get an idea of what's happening with the market. So, Norm will give it that update. Then we'll look into our trade ideas gappers list, kind of go through this. We have actually a very small list today. This is small compared to what we've been seeing over the last month or two, month and a half. And then we'll get into some community announcements, kind of show what's going on this week and a rundown of the weekend, what's happening, any special events, success webinars, and then we'll get into doing support and resistance of the stocks that we like this morning. So, welcome if you're joining us for the first time. If you're going live for the first time, welcome as well. And again, good luck. Hopefully that everything goes well. Be patient with yourself today if you are going live this morning. If you're a new community member, welcome as well. All right, guys. So let's get to it. Norm, give us a somewhat of an update on what's happening with the SPY this morning. Any announcement we can expect this week?
Yeah. So last night, futures open Sunday night about at 6 p.m. Eastern. So I looked and they were trading down 1.5% almost immediately, kind of stuck in that area. And it looked like we were going to have a fairly significant gap down this morning the way it was trading. When I got up, first thing I looked at futures, and they had been trending up pretty much all morning. So now we're only down around 0.25% this morning, and continuing to trend back toward that Thursday, since we weren't open close number. So like I said, we're down about 0.25% at this point, a little bit more than that. As far as economic data, there is no fresh data expected out today. There is very light data tomorrow. Wednesday, Thursday, just a ton of information coming out, everything from retail sales, home builders index, industrial production. And Thursday, we've got jobless claims again, which we're now on like 3 weeks of the biggest numbers in history. Housing starts, building permits, the Philly manufacturing index. So a whole lot of data those days. The real big news is as far as what to expect coming up. We kick into earnings season essentially tomorrow. I believe J.P. Morgan and it's the banks that kick off earnings season first. Tomorrow we've got J.P. Morgan, Wells Fargo, J&J, and then it really kicks in the next day on the 15th on Wednesday. So then you've got Bank of America, United Health, so on and so forth. And we'll get into another full-fledged earnings season. It's going to be interesting to trade earnings this time around because of the timing of first quarter. There will be reporting, results from January to March. Most of that was not affected, but we'll start to get a feeling and outlook of what these companies have looking forward as we deal with the coronavirus issues going forward, what they're seeing, how their balance sheet looks. I'm sure there will be a ton of analyst questions on those calls about things of that nature. So we've got that moving forward. You're going to note this morning, our gappers list, while big by normal standards, isn't just ridiculous as it is a lot of these days. Volatility is coming down a little bit. VIX sitting around 43-ish. So it's not nearly up in the 80-ish range that we had been dealing with. Maybe I'll get to shave at some point in the next few weeks here, but it would be nice. Who knows? You're going to notice a couple of things. Obviously, we're going to have tickers specifically moving on data having to do with, or information having to do with them doing something in terms of coronavirus. That's your CTSOs, things of that nature. We've seen that every morning going back, whether it was either drugs, vaccines, PPE manufacturers. Then you're going to see oil stocks, a ton of oil stocks in here. So over the weekend, OPEC Plus finally came out with a deal to cut a good amount of oil production. That having been said, we've had this massive decrease in demand. Will it be enough to head that off? Maybe it's enough to kind of stabilize prices. We'll see. I've heard differing sides of both of those arguments. Then you've got airlines on here. Airlines are trading. They hammered out some details with the Treasury, the government for a bailout, for lack of a better term, of which last I heard, 70% is essentially a grant and won't have to be repaid, and 30% will. So the terms on that a little bit better than some people had expected, helping pop those. You've got cruise lines on here. The government has extended the essential no cruise order, I believe, until mid-June. So that's hitting those a little bit. And then we'll dig into some of the others if they have any specific individual catalysts as well.
Excellent. Thank you, Norm. So great update there. Let's get to our list here on trade ideas and kind of see what we have going on this morning. So as Norm mentioned, a lot of the stuff is already again kind of covered here. And we're going to see some of those tickers this morning in our on the green side. But we do have almost every cruise line in the red this morning, at least the ones that we've been following: RCL, NCLH, CCL, all gapping down a little bit alongside with MU. That's interesting. MU's down today. Because most of its trading partners are a little bit up. Kind of stocks that always follow the market are up a little bit. So MU's down actually a 2.4. So it's interesting to see what's going on there. Let's start with what's red
They
this
got a
morning.
downgrade this morning, just
Okay.
as a head. So out
Yeah.
of Goldman, that's what did it. It just came out.
Gotcha. All right. So that's what's costing that move there. So let's put MU on here, guys. It's going to be interesting with a nice downgrade here, costing a little move towards the downside, down 2.4 this morning, 313,000 shares traded. Pre-market is looking very active. Not the best pre-market activity we've seen out of MU, but again, MU tends not to have great volume at the morning pre-market. So, but right now looking pretty good. Let's put that one on there. Next we have, let's look at CCL. CCL has a 1.9 million shares traded, pretty much flat this morning, kind of trading sideways. And we've seen CCL do this with a lot of volume, right? It can tend to just go sideways for a bit with some very decent volume. We're kind of seeing that now. So we'll see. It is down 2.3 this morning, but it's kind of barely coasting around below this previous day close. So at any point, we've seen how explosive CCL can be. It can go green at any minute. So we'll keep an eye on CCL. Let's take a look at NCLH, another a cruise liner as well. 882,000 shares traded right now. This one is down 3.8. Again, similar situation. They're all down quite a bit this morning. Let's look at RCL, and then we'll pick the best one out of these three to watch this morning. So 600,000 on RCL, so some nice volume there as well. Right now, they're all pretty much look exactly the same. The only difference is the volume, really, but they all just kind of drop down a bit here below the previous day close and are just kind of moving sideways right now with some good volume. So we'll come back to those. Let's go pop up to what's trading up this morning. CTSO, I believe Norman mentioned this one just a bit ago. This one is again up 27.3, 367,000 shares traded at the moment. It's got a decent pre-market activity. We'll have to see how this is gonna play out. What's the float on this? 31 million shares float. Okay, so we'll take a look at it. I'm not liking the daily as much, but the pre-market can get going here if we can get some movement out of this. So we'll keep an eye on this one. CTSO. Here we go. All right, let's go over to what do we have there? ICD this morning. Oh, this doesn't look great at all. So ICD right now, guys, again, pretty choppy at the moment. I'm not seeing anything great on it. It does got 400,000 shares traded. It is up 18.6 at the time. Had a big day on Thursday. You can see tons of volume. So not sure what the news that broke out there. Independence contract. What is this? Contract drilling. All right, so it might be an oil company as well. So again, big pop on Thursday, but again, right now it's just pretty choppy and overall. So we're gonna move on to the next one for right now. I'm not gonna add this one on, guys. I just don't like the pre-market action right now. If it gets better, you guys throw it out to me, and we'll take a look at it. But at the moment, let's just go to the next one. Norm, feel free to interrupt me anytime, and if any of these has any specific news that we should know about.
Well, I had to restart here. Sorry, I was trying to chime in on CTSO that they got an emergency use authorization for one of their drugs to use in COVID patients. That's what's popping it up. PTSO, it's similar. They're expanding their compassionate use program for COVID treatment. So that's
Gotcha.
what's going on that one as well.
Gotcha. All right. Let's head down over to you said PSTI, right? PSTI. That's
PSTI, yeah.
PSTI. Gotcha. All right, so we'll take a look at these two for possibly any big momentum moves right now. Again, these type of stocks don't have the best daily, guys. And this was actually a low flow, 14.5. So we're gonna throw this one down here. Could be the low flow of the day unless we see something better. But this one has 1 million shares traded right now. They don't got the best daily, but they're decent for a possible pop of momentum if they can keep a good pre-market activity, some good volume, and if the price action is readable. And obviously the spread right now is not looking too great. 12 cents on a stock that's $8 is very, very high. So you don't want to be trading anything that has a spread like that. Let's look at some airlines. We'll do them all together. So we have Safe here as the first one. It is gapping up 7.2, so they're doing pretty nice this morning. 114,000 shares traded. Pre-market is not looking all that great. They tend not to have the best pre-market activity out of all the airlines. They usually have the lowest volume. And not the greatest pre-market activity. But today they're gapping up the highest, up 7.2. So let's keep an eye on that. Let's throw this down here. Some airlines. We'll start with that one. And then I'm going to skip to all the airlines so we take a look at them real quick. United Airlines here. This one is also up 4%, 751. Let's put that one on here as well. We'll fine tune this a little bit later. Let's look at Delta. Delta also has some great volume, 1.4 up 4% this morning. Actually, probably one of the cleanest pre-market activities out of the ones we've seen so far. This is a very, very clean pre-market, guys. Look how beautiful this is trending higher here. And the daily also looks nice. We have a beautiful kind of a double bottom being set here. This base here at 22 was held very nicely. So we're kind of at a breakout point. If we can get above this 26, hopefully it doesn't run without us too much and to get too extended. This could be a good opportunity for us to take this long. Let's look at, so we'll add DL here. Let's look at American Airlines, kind of cover some of the airlines we have here. This one also looking good, 1.5, great volume, great pre-market, but Delta seems to have the best pre-market activity out of all of these right now. This is very clean with some really, really good volume. So we'll throw on American Airlines here, but Delta right now is kind of taking it in that front. All right, going back to our list, AMRN will be next. So APA here, guys, this one has been an explosive stock for us. Many people have traded it. Today they have a good pre-market activity at the moment, 600,000 traded, up 5.6 this morning. Had a big gap up day on Thursday, did push up to 10 and kind of sold off and closed red for the day. So today could be a possible continuation day. We'll have to see how it plays out. So again, it could be interesting. We'll throw it on here. It's not the easiest stock to trade. The price action and the price action is a little bit hard to follow sometimes, but it does trade with a lot of volume. Could be the reason why the price action is hard to follow. Also, it's a lower price stock. I tend to like price of stocks above, that 10, 15, $20 mark. But again, this one has been very explosive. So we'll keep an eye on it, do some levels at least, and keep it in our secondary list, if anything. AMRN, let's see what's going on here. At the moment, not a great pre-market. I'm going to skip this one, guys. This doesn't look great at all. Again, could get better later on in the morning. It can also be a very great trading stock after the open. But right now, there's nothing great here that we would like to see. We would like to keep
The only thing I've seen on Ameren is this evening they have a preliminary update on their Q1 performance. It's not technically an earnings release. So
okay. Okay. Oh, that could be interesting.
We'll see.
That could be
They've got very high short interest. And so you might have some people trying to cover before that. That's my guess of what that activity is. I didn't see anything else. I didn't see any fresh news on it.
Yeah. And now is that happening after the close?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So we'll look at that. I'm sure in the afternoon show they will be talking about that if it's happening right after the close. It might not, but if so, I'm sure they'll be discussing this one. Let's look at one more, ET and Oxy, two more, ET and Oxy, and then we'll throw it over to the chat, see what those guys are watching this morning. So we have this one's up 4.8. This is very similar to almost Oxy as well, and I actually prefer to watch Oxy. This one, if you're going to watch one of these energy, petroleum type stocks, this is the one to go, guys. This one has been trading very clean. It has been giving us some good opportunities in the past. The volume is great on it also. The one thing about Oxy you got to be careful with, you sometimes get these drops out of nowhere. So you got to be very cautious in how you position yourself in size. So look, for example, here's a great example. Nice big pop here. This was Thursday, right? Looked like it was trending higher, and then it's kind of trending down. And then look at this, boom. Nice big drop out of nowhere, right? So it tends to do that more often than not. So if you're using a hard stop, again, we always recommend using a stop market order. And we got a new video up on our education center on the difference between those type of orders and how to execute them in Dash Trader Pro. So take a look at that. But again, you want to use a market order. If you use a limit order here and this thing gaps down like this, you're going to be in a bit of a trouble there. So again, that's my only issue with it right now. It's just how it gaps down sometimes unexpectedly. It's a stock that you get in if your move is not happening right away. And this is something that Andrew does very well. If his move doesn't start happening in a matter of a minute or so, again, not a firm rule, but if it doesn't start happening right away with this type of stock, you want to get out immediately because it usually tends to drop like that. All right, so that is what I have so far, guys. We got quite a bit here, but we do have, again, some cruise lines we're going to take out of the way. We're going to keep one. We're going to keep one airline as well also here, and then we'll see what you guys like this morning. Norm, what do you have on your list that you love today? Norm?
Yep, I just gave him my answer.
Oh, perfect. I like that.
I'm just messing around. I'm not seeing. I'll pick some stuff out here, but I'm not seeing anything special yet. Tesla and Boeing, I guess, are really about the only two things. Those have kind of been my standby stocks through this deal. While others have been trading CCL and Oxy. So yeah, I'm going to keep my eye on those. Other than that, I'm still coming up with a list. I want to see, especially since it's Monday morning, it's taking a little bit longer for things to get going.
Yeah. Tesla. And what was the other one, Norm, you mentioned that you've been watching?
Boeing, BA.
BA. Yeah, these two have been, especially Boeing, have been really fun to really watch. And everybody's been kind of finding their stock that they've been trading during these times. For me, has definitely been CCL. I know Norm has done, not Norm, Thor has done a lot of CCL as well. So these stocks are just trading very well that have been somewhat easy to read. So it's been great to kind of find that stock that you kind of can take advantage during these times. All right, let's look at what you guys like this morning. We'll start over with our chat room here. So BA and Delta, stock operator. Yes, those are two good ones. I definitely have Delta here. Delta seems to be the best one this morning. I'm definitely going to keep an eye on that one. It's definitely on top of my list today. Let's take a look at Roku today. See what we have going on there. Roku this morning, again, not really concerned too much about the price action in the pre-market because Roku is going to give you some explosiveness either way at the open. Here's what's Thursday. Had a nice pop here. Didn't hold much, kind of dropped down and was able to recover and ended up green for the day. So I'm sorry, at least for the part of the afternoon. Then it sold off during the close here or during the close of the last hour. But again, Roku has an interesting daily as well, guys. If you look at this daily, we've kind of been squeezing up against this level here at around 94-ish, 94 bucks here. So again, if we can break out of that, we got some beautiful room here. So Roku could be one to watch. I definitely like the daily on it. The pre-market right now is very light, but we've seen Roku do that plenty of times where it's light pre-market and it just takes off. Let's look at Bank of America, C, and JP Morgan. These are all stocks that are in the banking sector. Let's look at Bank of America right now, getting above this previous day close, going green, pretty much flat right now, not doing anything great at the moment. It has great volume. Let's take a look at Citigroup. That would be C. Lighter on the volume, not the best pre-market activity. And then let's take a look at JP Morgan. JP Morgan seems to get going here as well. So all of these guys don't have the best pre-market right now, but I know a lot of these are going to be, as Norm mentioned, releasing some stuff later in this week. But again, BA might be the best one. If you want to watch one banking stock, BA might be the one to watch. BA seems to have the
BAC.
I'm sorry, not BAC.
BA is Boeing.
Yeah, BAC seems to have the best pre-market activity out of all of them right now. Again, they all don't look great, but this one seems to be the one that has the best and the most volume at the moment. So again, JP Morgan can trade very well. We've seen that trade very nice. But for the most part, these banking stocks are not the best ones. Usually they tend to be very choppy. But if you want to watch one, BAC, we could do a levels on BAC today. And then you could decide to watch whichever one you please out of that group. Gilt this morning. Let's take a look at that. Daily not looking all that great, guys. Pretty choppy at the moment. And that's typical Gilt. It's just the way it trades. Right now we got some volume 406, which is nice. We're up 2.8. Gilt could be interesting. It's up nicely here today. We do have we're above a lot of these highs and lows from the last two trading days, and above the previous day close nicely also. This could be interesting if we want to test some of these highs we have in the past. It's kind of a trend within this choppy daily. You do have kind of a trend happening here, so we do have some potential if we're going to be green today. Gilt can definitely get going this morning. One thing with Gilt, guys, you really got to watch the spread. It could be great, and at some points it could be really, really nasty. So you gotta definitely be on the lookout for that. We'll add it on here. We're gonna fine tune this list, guys. We're not gonna go through all these levels. We'll fine tune it and pick the best ones to do levels on. Edwin is giving us Zoom. Let's take a look at Zoom this morning. So Zoom is up a bit, 2.1 right now, hitting our trade idea scanners in a second, probably 112,000 shares traded at the moment. Let's remove some of these levels. So again, bouncing back from the strong level we tested over the last a couple of almost a week right in here. The short week tested it here. This 110. Could not sell below that. It held nicely, although with some negative news on security. This thing is gapping up nicely today, 2.1. So let's see if it can hold this. Zoom has been very interesting. I definitely want to watch Zoom. It's one of the stocks that I do like, so I'll keep an eye on that. Oxy, we do have Oxy on here. No, we actually talked about Oxy. I didn't put it on here, but I'm gonna put it down here as well. Let's put Oxy down here. I think my list is going to be longer than the Gappers list.
You're good there.
Yeah, let's see. Right, so soon we have an old good old AMD. Chris Mack is giving us that one. Let's take a look at AMD. We'll throw that on there. All right, guys. Let's see what our friends on YouTube have this morning. APA, we do have that on there. We'll take a look at that. MFA, which one's that one? MFA, 1.8 million shares traded right now. It's more of a penny stock, guys, trading under a buck. MFA Financial. I'm not sure what the company is or what the float is. Actually, we'll check quickly what the float is on this one. This is sitting MFA. What is this sitting at? Okay, it's a larger float, 447. But again, I'm not liking this price action right now.
This is another mortgage investment firm that we've been seeing this, and what's NRZ we see all the time. Just not my favorite things to trade. Not that they can't be traded, but
yeah, I agree with you 100%. Let's look at Win. That one's being mentioned in YouTube this morning. So at the moment, I'm not seeing anything great. The volume is a little bit light, unless there's any news that you're looking at that you like this morning or a possible continuation. We had a gap down, kind of pull back. We're holding this previous day close line pretty nice here. We're up 1.3. But pre-market wise in volume, I'm not seeing anything great. Only 30,000 shares traded right now. So for that reason, we're going to skip our list. Let's take a look at XOM this morning. This one is slightly up 3.2. Also this is ExxonMobil. Also one that doesn't trade all that great, guys. It's not as clean as we would like to see. But again, today they're up slightly to 3.2. Pre-market's got some good volume. I'm not really a fan of this stock, so I'm not going to add it to my list because it's extremely long already. But you can see here how this has been trending up nicely this morning. Definitely worth keeping an eye on if you like this stock. I see a lot of people mentioning Microsoft. Let's take a look at what's happening there. So Microsoft kind of chopping around below the previous day close. Looks like it wants to go green, but look at the daily on Microsoft. It's nice. You have a beautiful level here being built right at 163 around that area. We dipped below that this morning, heading down to exactly 163. The level before is like a 163.50 or so, and it keeps bouncing off that level right on there. So again, Microsoft could be interesting. I see a lot of you guys like this one today, so we'll do levels for it because a lot of people that are watching this one this morning. All right, Baba, we'll do two more, Baba and Starbucks. So here's Baba. Not much volume on Baba, guys. We'll skip that one for now. And here's Starbucks again. Not great volume. I see what you guys are looking at. All these dailies have a great possible breakout with some room to run if we can get going. So I do see that again. But when it comes to the market open, I'm looking at stuff that has a lot of volume that could be explosive. Right, we have some stuff on here. The airlines, we have Gill has some volume too. PTSI, so we got some stuff that's really got some volume here. Tesla, APA. This one again could be nice. Could be something to keep on your scanners or tune into on your secondary list because I see what you guys are looking at is the possible breakout here. That looks good. All right, guys, let's go to announcements. We're gonna come back. We're gonna go through this list. We're gonna fine tune it to about at least just 10, and then we'll do levels on those 10, and then we'll see what we can come up with for our final list here.
Yeah, I got to get through these fast because you've got the longest list I've ever seen you make. All right, guys. So the weekly rundown. Monday, you've got your onboarding class 8 p.m. tonight in the classroom. Brian's swing trade discussion is usually 2:30 to 3:30 Eastern in the chat room on Mondays. That's kind of been an everyday thing with the closing bells show that they've got. So just a heads up there. Tuesday, Thursday, Eamon's trade reviews live in the classroom. And Wednesday, our success webinar is at its traditional 8 p.m. time this week. Speaking of Brian and his swing trading commentary, you can catch our Markets Close on Wall Street show with Peter, Brian, Mike every afternoon this week, Monday through Friday, since we are back to a 5-day work week. That'll be streamed live on YouTube. And as far as the success webinar this week, we've got Brian Shannon talking about anchored VWAP and short-term trading like we do. That'll be Wednesday, 8 p.m. in the Lifetime webinar room. Then next week, we've got Dr. Kenneth Reed talking about navigating volatility during a bear market, which technically we've pulled out of. So I don't know. Maybe we tweak the name of that. We'll see. Anyway, no doubt it's still a volatile market. As far as our psychology classes, this week you've got Module 1 coming out from Mike. That's tomorrow night on Tuesday, 8 p.m. in the webinar room. And then next week, our own in-house psychologist, Dr. Katz, will be taking, he'll be doing his Q&A session. AB will post the forum link for that. That'll be in the Lifetime webinar room as well. But AB will post the forum link, post your questions there, and he'll go through them in that webinar. Then we've got a special session this Thursday, April 16th at 5 p.m. Eastern. If this will be in the classroom and is open to everybody. Dr. Katz has generously volunteered to do this, not necessarily about trading. This is just handling stress and anxiety associated with what's going on in what is the current new normal, along with COVID-19, being trapped in the house with your family, your kids climbing on your shoulders, all that kind of stuff. So that'll be in the classroom. It's open to everybody, 5 p.m. Eastern on Thursday. And then also, if you're watching us on YouTube, haven't been in the chat, you can do so. Try it out at a discount. Give it a test drive. Use the promo code PREMARKET24. That'll give you a discount off the 1-week intro membership. It also gives you access to our onboarding class each Monday night that I already mentioned earlier. If you go and you sign up for the intro, use that promo code, and it will discount it down to $24. Also, if you are interested in becoming a lifetime member, you can do so at a discount. 40% off. Use the promo code EarthDay at checkout for the lifetime. That's the one-time payment option. Use the promo code EarthDay for 40% off that, whether you get 3 months of DAS or not. That's all I got.
All right, excellent. Thank you, Norm. All right, folks, let's get to this list. So first, let's go through them, see what we like and what we're going to do levels on. I'm going to delete a SPY from here. We'll delete that one. We'll delete the VIX as well. So we have AMD on here, which is a great one to watch depending how the market is going to trend. You can trade this one. This is a nice one, very liquid, a lot of volume. So if the SPY is dropping hard for whatever reason on some news or just some, so overall market sentiment, this could be a good one to take a stab at, right? It will follow the market for the most part. You got the Apple, you got MU and stocks like that one that are going to just mirror the SPY or the overall market. Here's MU. MU's down, so I want to watch MU today. It's very interesting that they're down this morning. They have a downgrade while everything else is kind of slightly gapping up. You can see here in our gappers list, a lot of green on the screen here today. MU is down, so let's keep an eye on that, see how this downgrade is going to affect MU today. Also, we have here CCL. There we go. We're starting to drop, get some volume. This is the explosiveness of CCL. This is what I kind of like watching this stock. Now, at some point, it can get to be a little too much. I've seen that where, the volume is just all over the place. The level 2 is all over the place, and it's very difficult to, to time your entry and not have a very aggressive and violent pullback, right? That's the key, that if you have something violent like that, it can stop you out of a good position. So we have a nice big drop here. Let's keep an eye on CCL. Another one that's good that is less violent is NCLH. So we'll keep an eye on these two. RCL at the moment also dropping down, but I like NCLH and I like CCL at the moment right now. So let's remove RCL from this list. CTSO, again, this stock is gapping up on some coronavirus news, but I just don't like the pre-market right now. Although it has 388,000 shares traded. This is the type of activity I want to see here, right? This one has 1.1. Look at the great movement on on this CCL and a NCLH. So we'll keep an eye on that one. I'm going to remove this one, guys. Again, can this one be explosive? If it hits our scanners, we'll look at it. If it hits the high of day bull flex scanner that we have, we can look at it, because this will be a good one for a possible play towards the long side if we can get going here with some good volume. Here is let's look at the airlines. So out of the airlines, we have Spirit, we have United, we have Delta, we have American Airlines, and someone also mentioned in the chat room, in our YouTube chat, JetBlue. So let's take a look at JetBlue. So JetBlue out of all of them has the lightest volume, so I'm gonna skip on this one. But if we look at Delta here, I like the way Delta is. Delta had a beautiful pre-market activity, and now it's kind of dropping down a little with some of these stocks. What is a SPY doing? We're seeing a lot of stock kind of push down here a bit. SPY is not pushing down, so I'm not sure what's causing these other ones to drop like that. But you can see the airlines and the cruise line ships kind of taking a little dip here, so that's interesting that that's happening there. All right, so let's so I think Delta, guys, is really the best one out of the airlines. That's what I'm going to go with. I'm going to remove American Airlines. You cannot go wrong with either one. But I think Delta really has a nice pre-market activity this morning with some really good volume. So we'll get rid of Spirit, United Airlines, and we'll go down to Delta. See, this list is getting a lot smaller, right? APA, again, this stock can be explosive, guys. I'm not a huge fan of it myself. Not one of my favorite stocks. I believe I have not traded this one yet. But I watched it very closely. I don't really like the price action. For me, it's a little bit more difficult to read the price action on this stock. But I've seen plenty members take amazing trades. So we'll do levels on this one. I'm gonna remove it from my final list, but I will do levels. I know there will be some people watching this stock that have done very well on it. Here is Tesla. Tesla is good, guys. Gapping up 3.2 this morning with some really good volume. Kind of going sideways a bit here, hitting the high. So of the pre-market, we'll look at that. BA also. Look at this beautiful pre-market activity on BA. BA has been amazing. So we'll keep an eye on that one, some good volume. Here's Roku. So Roku, although I like how explosive Roku could be sometimes, the daily is setting up nicely to get, to make a possible run here. Look at this beautiful kind of wedge we have towards the upside. We do have some levels we can hit as well all the way up here. We got some moving averages. I mean, I love this. I'm gonna have to look for this one in the scanners this morning. If it triggers in the turbo breakup, I'll tune into it. Even the turbo breakdown, this could be a great short as well. But right now the volume is just still not getting any better. Very crazy choppy pre-market at the moment. Here's a Bank of America. So out of the banking stocks, I think BAC is the possibly the best one. So we'll do levels for that. I want to see a lot of people want to watch some of the banking units. Guild at the moment has got some volume. That one's good. Zoom has been so interesting. Definitely want to keep an eye on Zoom. PSTI, this one again. These type of stocks where they're breaking out on some news. What I don't like about them is that they tend to have this run and then just come right back down, right? Especially this COVID-19 where they get a trial upgrade or they get some kind of a movement. It's just, I don't like the way they trade, and they could be very difficult to trade. The pullbacks could be very aggressive. So I'm going to remove this one. Again, nothing wrong with this one if you like to watch that type of stock. But for my purposes, I'm going to remove this one here. Here is Oxy. Oxy will be a good one. We'll do levels on that. And then Microsoft. Plenty of people have Microsoft, so we'll do levels on that as well. All right, we're going to run through this very quick. Just kind of, let me see if I can remove anything else off this list. Oh, we have two here. I'm going to watch only CCL. Let's get rid of NCLH. Delta, we have APA. Looks good. Tesla. Bank of America. I'm sorry, Boeing. Bank of America. Bank of America is starting to get going here, so that's interesting. I'm gonna remove Guild, guys. Again, we just can't watch all of these. They all look great, but we just can't watch all of them. So I'm gonna remove this one here. Zoom is good. Zoom is nice. Oxy. I'm gonna remove Oxy. It's another one too that again is a great stock, and I've seen someone mentioned in the comments that they've been making a killing on it. It can be a beautiful stock, but looking at everything else I have here, I think this one's gonna take the back burner for now. And now we have a more manageable, decent list. Again, some of the ones that I removed, guys, are great. And if you trade them in the past, you can add them to your list and trade them again. If you trade them successfully and you're doing well, you're going to find those stocks that you just do well with. Keep them on your list. No problem at all. Let's start here with AMD. So AMD is going green 1.2. This is a good one. If the market starts trending, we can kind of ride on this one for a little bit. Pre-market high, very close to 49, which is the high from 2 days ago. Right on here was the high from Wednesday. So do not need to mark that. The lows is also covered for you. We have a beautiful base down here heading towards the bottom of a 47.75, the exact low. But you do have a beautiful base here. That was prior resistance, trading nicely here. Above this, guys, if we can break out, AMD has a level right in between here below the market high from, I'm sorry, the high from Thursday we do have a level right in here, several days testing this 49.50. So I'm going to mark that down. That could be a good midway point if we can get going. And if you can get 50 cents out of AMD, that's a great pop. So looks like he's trying to break out of that 49 right now. Let's see if he can do that. Then, guys, I think you've pretty much covered plenty of levels on AMD towards the bottom and towards the top. It'll be interesting to see if he can get to this 50 today. Again, it's going to need some help from the market to do that. But if it does, the next level on there will be this 51.23 will be a great level if we can get out of that 50. Again, that's not going to be easy to do. That's a buck away on AMD. Here's MU. So MU's got a downgrade this morning. The low of the pre-market sitting at 44.50. So I'm going to mark that down. Below that, we have a level right on here off this date, 43.33. Towards the top, guys, plenty of levels. Highs and lows from the last two trading days got you covered right above the previous day close. And then towards the bottom, you got your pre-market low and you got 43.33 as well. So again, to see how the downgrade affects MU this morning, as a SPY is trying to make it green. Not sure if it can make it. It's getting a little bit toppy here in the pre-market, so we'll see what it does there. Here's CCL again taking a bit of a drop as well as some of the airlines, but I do like CCL this morning. Stuck between the highs and lows at the moment. It looks like the low from Thursday is creating the low for today as well, so do not need to mark that there. Towards the bottom, guys, we do have obviously a beautiful base down here at 7. We tested this twice already. That has been a tough number to crack on towards the downside. In between there, we do have what I want to call a minor level, not a major level. So let's look at the difference if you're joining us for the first time. As you see this drop here, this $7-8 mark, that's a major level. Look at the support it has, bounces back nicely. Again, retested again, showing that, hey, this we don't want to go below this. So that's a major level. This one here, you don't really have that kind of change in direction, but you do have 1 and 2 days opening and kind of closing around that area, around that $10 mark, 10.30. So I suspect that if we drop here, we're going to have some kind of loss in momentum there, maybe change in direction, maybe a pullback and set off of that. And if we lose that level, we can expect some kind of a flush. Again, that's a far out right now, but you do want to have this mark as a minor possible level if we get down there. Towards the top, we got a lot to go through, guys. Highs and lows from the last trading day, previous day close, and then you have another, again, what I call minor level here on $13. If we can break out of that, we do have some levels towards the high of Friday. Let's look at Delta. So I do like CCL right now, guys. Great pre-market activity. Let's look at Delta this morning. So Delta is actually, again, great pre-market, still green right now, even after a slight pullback that the airlines and looks like also the cruise lines just did. If we can get above the pre-market high, sitting very close to the high from Thursday, and also this would have been Tuesday, so very close to that. If we can break out of that, the next clean level we see is going to be this one right on here. So 26.94. Got 1 day rejection off of that, 1 day opening and closing there. This one is pretty close to it, not quite, but very close to that 27 level right there, 26.94. So we'll see what Delta does here, guys. Again, we have a very strong base on Delta. Towards the bottom, there's plenty of support here, guys, as you can see happening. Again, with all the help the airline's been getting, they've been able to hold themselves from going any lower, and you can see that right on here. So again, kind of going sideways right now, but we are coming off a very beautiful pre-market activity on Delta. So let's see if we can hold and stay green here. Here is a APA. So I know a lot of people are watching this one. Let's do some levels for right now. Pre-market is 735. Started off very nicely with a nice pop, kind of going sideways over the last couple of minutes. Has not really done much. Let's see if we can get breakout here and start doing something. APA high of our pre-market sitting right at 8.98, very close to $9, 8.98. Above that, there's no other clean levels in the recent times, right? And this is after this gap down. In here, there's no really clean level above this 8.97. If you could look at it in here, it's just nothing clean. You do have above, you do have 2 days on here, maybe the 941, but again, these are minor levels. I don't see anything all that significant in between here. So you can mark down 944. You got 2 days bouncing off of that. Maybe that can play some support, some resistance in today's trading if we can get going. Towards the bottom, guys, you got plenty. Previous day close, you can mark down the low of the pre-market right now at 785, and then the pre-market lows are covered for you, and pre-market high from the last 2 trading days. So again, APA, looking at it now, guys, I really do not like it at all for me personally. So I'm going to remove it and take it off my list here. Here is Tesla, guys. Tesla has a good pre-market, great volume, 400,000 shares traded right now, kind of pulling back a bit here. The high of the pre-market sitting at 595.70, so we'll mark that down. Above that, we do have some, look at that 595.70. Again, you got some support and resistance happening around that area. Above that, this daily looks very, very choppy. The bigger picture looks great, right? You have a bounce and you have a drop here. But if you look at this dailies, again, not all that exciting. The only clean level I see here is going to be this one right on here at around 652.80. You also have a moving average kind of confirming that there. I think that might be the 50 day moving average. I think this is 200 down here. So again, that 652.80 might be the best level. There's nothing clean here. If you look at this daily, it's not great. So also, but again, this stock can move quite a bit. Look out for the whole dollar numbers, right? If it gets above 600, 610, 620, these are the numbers that you want to be careful with. Here's Boeing this morning. Again, Boeing, great pre-market activity, has not been able to break out of this area here. Our high at the moment is 157.25, so we'll mark that down. Above that, you have the highs from Thursday. You do have a moving average coming in here as well. Again, it's just got a lot of resistance up here. Let's see what it is going to do as we get closer to 930. Looks like it wants to possibly head higher. But market is still trending nicely towards the top here in the pre-market. So if it can continue to do that, it looks like it wants to go green, guys. This thing had a big bounce today already. It went down all the way to 274 already up at 277 with the look that it wants to break this previous day close and get to the green side. So if that happens, I'm sure it's going to be taking some of these stocks with it. BA right now, the next level above this congestion area here is going to be 164.94, basically 165 area. Could be a great level here. We got a nice rejection of this day last week. That could be an area we can get into. And within here, there's really nothing else that can stop you from getting to this 164.94. And then towards the bottom, guys, you got plenty of levels. Previous day close, highs and lows from the last two trading days got you covered. If you want another level towards the bottom, again, this is a big drop. I don't think you're going to get that today. But if you do, you have obviously this drop over here, 120. I don't think we're getting there. And then you have another level right here, 136.33. Here's Bank of America, guys. Again, Bank of America is chopping sideways right now. It's just wrapping itself around the previous day close line, going red to green, red to green. If it can break out towards the top, you have your high from Thursday, and then above that, you really only have this day here, the 216. Now, what's interesting about this, guys, that Bank of America has not been up here except for Thursday, has not been in this level for a very long time. It's been trading all below here. So again, if it can break out of here, this will be the first time in a month almost that has been above in these levels. So that'll be nice to see if it can do that. Right now, pre-market is not doing all that great, guys. I'm gonna remove this one towards my my final list, but you do have 26.17 here. If we can get some explosiveness happening, that's the level you have on there. So might not make my final list, but I'll keep it on here for now. Now here's Zoom. Zoom is trending nicely. Again, a beautiful level here. We've been talking about this all week. This 115 area has been very strong for Zoom, making higher lows here on the way up. And today we're gapping up 2.6, hopefully trying to hold here. Our high of our pre-market sitting at 129. Yep, 129. And then above that, we do have this area here, great level at 133. So let's see how Zoom is going to trade today. We again, just a reminder, Zoom, you have to give it a lot of space and take little shares, right? You want to take a half size on this from your regular position if you're, if you want to hold through a pullback, because the pullbacks on this type of stock can be very, very aggressive. Also, take a look at the spread before getting in. It has a couple of days I had a good spread. There's just some days where the spread is just completely off. It is a very random stock when it comes to the spread. So just keep an eye on that. Make sure you take a look before you hit that hotkey button. Here's Microsoft kind of moving sideways. I know a lot of you guys were watching Microsoft. It has a great base sitting here at around 163, which is the low of our pre-market this morning. Right on here, so we'll mark that down, 163. So again, that has been a good base for Microsoft over the last couple of days. So towards the top, previous day close, got to get through. Still hasn't gone green today. Barely just got on it, but it has not gone green. If we can get above that, the highs and lows from the last two trading days are up here, and then we do have this 170 level all the way up here as well on Microsoft. So again, we'll have to see how this plays out. Again, it's having a tough time with that previous day close line and really moving sideways at the moment. So guys, that is what we have. Quick recap. So we have AMD is a good one to follow to see how the market is going to trade. AMD will be my go-to. MU has a downgrade this morning, so we'll keep an eye on that. CCL is great volume. Let's see what it's doing now. 3.7 million shares traded, and we do have this beautiful drop here. Let's see what it wants to do. It looks like it wants to go lower. It's kind of lost this level here. Just kind of had a nice big drop here, so we'll see what it does. And then here we have Delta. Delta, very similar drop as well as CCL early on, but again, it looks like it might want to hold. So we'll see what happens there. Tesla this morning dropping down a bit, some good volume. BA also has great volume, but still looking very one of the cleanest pre-market activities that we have is on BA. So definitely BA is worth watching here. Bank of America doesn't look great, guys. This might be off my list. It can pop here, but again, just this pre-market is not looking all that exciting. Zoom looks good, guys. Zoom looks very active this morning. Looks like it wants to try that 129 one more time. And then we have Microsoft here. Not a lot of people are watching Microsoft today. Again, just trying to get green, has not been able to do so in the last couple of minutes. All right, guys, so that is what we have. Some quick ones. Uber and SQ are being thrown out. Let's take a look at those. I'm looking at Uber because it's one of our favorite ones to actually look at and trade, but not anything great. Pre-market is very light, and SQ has been interesting to say the least. We had some really good days out of SQ the last couple of days here, especially late in the afternoon as well. Right now, again, they have a decent pre-market activity, but this could be almost like any other one at the moment, like SQ, AMD, NVIDIA app, where you can watch it and also look out for it in our turbo breakup scanners. Norm, anything you found that's not on this list that you might be watching today? Notice I said that you love that. I did not say that.
I already posted my watch list, so I'll just shout it out. BA, Tesla, Delta, CCL, SQ, Disney, Roku, and I put Delta up there twice by accident.
Yep, you must like that one quite a bit. It's all good. All right, so that's a great list. Thor has his list up to Delta, American Airlines, and CCL. Peter's watching American Airlines, CCL, Microsoft, Bank of America, AMD, Zoom, NBA. So again, we have a pretty nice list. I see you have Roku up there. Let's see what Roku's doing now. Again, Roku could be the sleeper, guys. It has a bad
I love that daily.
Yeah, that's a bad pre-market activity, but it can be the sleeper.
That's not abnormal for Roku, though.
It's not. No, it's really not. This
So
could
I'll give
be,
it a pass.
Yeah, this could be. We look at this in a regular stock, and this is garbage here. But Roku can have this and worse, and still break out nicely here. I just don't have much space for it, but I'm glad you're watching it because I know you'll be calling it out if you see something you like, and I can tune into it as well. All right, guys, that is what we have. Thank you so much for joining the pre-market show this morning. We appreciate you guys being with us on YouTube. Trade safe. We're going to be back again tomorrow. We got a full week. So last week we had a short week, 4-day week. Today we got a full week. And again, it's going to be interesting to see some of these earnings and their guidance coming up in this week as well. So that's something to look forward to. Also, for any earnings play, I think the today's close, our show, which starts at 3:30, they might be going into some of that. So make sure you tune back in, kind of see us how some of the stocks traded. They'll be going in depth on some of the earnings that are being called out on throughout the Squawk Audio. So you can come in and look for that. And also those guys do an amazing job. Peter, Brian, and Mike are on almost every day. So take advantage of it. That's all we have, guys.
Take care, guys. Trade safe.